Recovery Reinvented is a statewide initiative to help those who are suffering from addiction and also going against that stigma of the process that it takes.
Here to talk about the program, the main ideas of it. There's a big event coming up as well, and who's going to benefit from attending is North Dakota's First Lady, Catherine Helgesberg. Great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thanks for all the great things you're doing for our state as well. I think let's start there. Why did you choose recovery and addiction as your platform as our First Lady?
Well, I chose it because I'm actually in recovery, and I have been for 15 years, so it was a natural progression for me to, you know, just dive right in, especially with what's happening across our nation and in North Dakota related to the opioid situation. But, you know, in general, I think addiction needs more focus, needs more private citizens, private-public partnerships, and because it's a disease. You know, it's a chronic brain disease, and so the more that we can talk about it like that, the less stigma and shame there will be around that. The more people will get help, the more processes will get in place. You know, so there's so much to do, and the governor and I are really excited about Recovery Reinvented, and I'm really excited about this opportunity.
Thank you, first off, for having the courage to come out and share your, I mean, it takes a lot of courage. There's so much stigma, and I guess that's what I'd like to hear from you is walk us through the courage it took for you to come out and share your story, and then how you intend to sort of eradicate the stigma, if you will.
Well, so I heard someone speak about a year ago now about how important it is to start talking about addiction like a disease, and because just talking about it will reduce the shame and stigma. But, you know, for 15 years, I'd hardly ever talked about it. I knew people for 15 years who had no idea I was in recovery. And, you know, to me, when that light bulb went off for me, and I did start talking about it, and then when I first became First Lady, I just thought this would be a good opportunity to really talk about my own journey and see, you know, if it can help others or help improve opportunities for people to find recovery and find treatment.
Well, and too, as you said, you know, it's not only happening here in our state, it's happening across the nation. And we're very fortunate because in North Dakota, and even here, just kind of in that greater FM area, we have a lot of resources of help, but it's just that stigma that kind of stands in the way from people from reaching out for that help.
That's right. We do have resources, but we need more. We need the community support. We need sober living facilities. We need more private investment in recovery. We need people to, you know, help us create more sober living opportunities. There's an opportunity for the faith-based community to become involved in recovery as well, to become a recovery community organization. You know, we're a rural state. Every small town has a bar and a church. The bar gets a lot of business, and the church could use more business, right? And so those faith-based communities can become recovery community organizations, provide services, recovery coaches. That we also have the opportunity for higher ed to get involved, to create more supportive environments on campus for students that are struggling or, you know, maybe needing some help with which direction they should go in related to recovery or related to just drinking in general. You know, we have a culture of drinking in our state that's really been worn like a badge of honor versus cause for alarm. And so if we're able to get our higher ed involved in all the colleges and universities really focused on providing these great environments where kids can think about doing something else other than just the party atmosphere of college.
Talk about, you said for, hey, 15 years, Chris, there are people that knew me that didn't realize I was in recovery. I'm assuming, and I apologize for assuming, but it was part of that stigma that prevented you from sharing. So now that you've started to share, and I'm asking that so you can talk to people that maybe are watching that are addicts, now that you've started to share, what's that experience been like? Have you found that stigma still to be there? Are people like way more accepting than you thought, or what's been your experience?
Well, it's been actually very rewarding. I get emotional thinking about it because people share their struggles. I think for me, it did take me a long time. I mean, I knew for years I had an issue with it, but I didn't want to be labeled as that person that was an alcoholic. So it's been super rewarding because there are so many families struggling, so many people have lost, you know, children or family members to overdoses. So it was very freeing for me because, you know, if we don't talk about it, it's like it's a secret. It's like something to hide, and it's not. It's just really not. It's a disease.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you for having the courage. When we come back, we're going to say about this great event that's coming up about recovery that our First Lady will be at. Stay with us.